So I'm pretty sure I get into at least one more battle with the Queen Curl.
Find out if you or not.
Oh, okay, yes. Here are what those two sort of hidden dances do. One of them lets you cast anything that would cost MP for 0 MP. And the other one makes magic not work against you. So yes, both very useful. Okay, I was wondering why I was stealing from it, but then I saw what I got. An ether. That is worth stealing.
Yes. Any item like that is worth stealing. Any other
Well, depends what it is. If you can buy them from a store, then maybe it's not worth stealing.
True, but more like the higher ranked ones that you
Well, I mean, I say an ether is worth stealing because ways to restore MP other than by touching save spheres are limited.
Yes.
Although as you get later on in the game, you will find that more of them come up.
Yes.
But that's supposed to happen in an RPG. Stuff that is difficult to do at first will become easier later because you'll be facing tougher enemies. And, you know, if the game design is good, you won't have to keep dealing with the same stupid stuff that was annoying you early on. Instead, you'll have new problems.
It's a bit more tougher.
How many times are they gonna... There's this one thing that ESPN just keeps replaying. And it's a shot that... a shot made at the last second that made my team lose. Basketball, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah. It's really like when things happen. Like frustrating, that's the way that's, you know.
Right, like my team is they're called the San Antonio Spurs. They're the top seeded team in their conference. So they're expected to win this series, but they are behind in the series. No, play again tomorrow, and if they don't win, they'll be in deep doo-doo. If they do, then they'll no longer be behind. Anyway, yeah, I'm wondering if maybe I should have killed the skink first, since it has so few hit points, and that would have been one thing fewer beating us up.
Yeah, but at least the other one's dead now.
Yeah. So it looks like the spell Life gives more hit points than a Phoenix Down does. Because if you notice, Payne's HP numbers were, when she got revived by Riku, her HP numbers were white rather than yellow.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And I didn't notice while I was playing, but Riku was just about out of MP at this point. So it's a good thing that I got rid of the curl.
Bye.
So you could just like finish that off there.
Yeah.
And that was the last one, wasn't it?
Maybe.
It's him again. the rest of them.
Alright, so it looks like they're going to railroad you into this fight, but then they actually don't. You can use the save sphere and heal everyone if you want, which was good in my case.
Yes, that's very good.
And I'm really not sure why they chose these as the bosses, I say with air quotes, that nobody else can see.
We know you're doing that.
Scatter shot, I think, hits multiple enemies, maybe all enemies. Yeah, so I think these guys are probably tougher than ordinary water elementals, but other than that, they're not different. Like, they don't have any special attacks that blue elementals, I should say. They don't have any special attacks that normal ones don't. They just have, like, more hit points, stronger spells, etc. But really, they're nothing special.
Menace keep throwing in your face.
Yeah, so they're like the CIA.
Is that what they do?
It's called waterboarding. It's a practice in which the victim is made to feel like he or she is drowning. And we have some shitheads in the government who claim that that's not torture.
How is that not torture? You make this person feel like they died.
It's not torture because they don't want it to be torture. Because if it were torture, it would be illegal. Anyway, I really should not have so much political discussion in it.
Yeah, let's just enjoy what's happening on the screen.
Honestly, this is kind of tedious. As you can see, my attacks don't do very much damage, but luckily they don't have that many hit points.
Oh, thank you so much. At last, my dream can come
Yes.
true.
So,
What dream?
Clasko still has
I'm
one
going to
big
start a
problem.
chocobo
Can you
ranch.
guess what it is?
No one will bother me here. I can finally raise chocobos in peace.
What?
Good luck.
What did you say? Yeah.
Oh no! I can't raise anything without a chocobo.
I said Clasko still has one big problem. Can you guess what it is? But he just said what it was.
Yes, no chocobos.
You'd think he would have thought of that sooner.
Yes.
And guess who's gonna have to fix that problem?
Yes.
The Gullwings, of course.
Of course, because it would have been RPG if the main character didn't fix the problem.
I mean, it seems silly, but at the same time it makes sense, because there's not much fun in it if everyone else is doing, you know, the adventuring stuff. It's supposed to be the player doing the stuff. Okay, the Highroad wins Garment Gwyd. Elma Fudd. Highroad wins Garment Grid increases speed, I think. Yeah. Now, if it gave auto haste, it would be cool, but SOS haste doesn't seem worth it that you should have to go through every gate to get SOS haste. It does let you act it immediately at the beginning of battle. That's what First Strike does. I remember that Orin's ultimate weapon, once it was fully powered up, had that ability because he's so slow, so that would make, that would be a very good one for him. It can make you immune to slow and stop too, this Garment Grid, so there is that. Still, I think the ones I'm using now are going to be, I'm going to stick with those. The real prize from that was the Alchemist Dressphere. It's been a while since I've gotten a new one. The Alchemist Dressphere is all about items, making them better and using more of them. and using them to do different stuff. And I am choosing pain for this one.
Sounds like well, remember like this is an interesting Dressphere.
But this is not one. Oh wait, did I choose? Oh, I guess I did equip her with Highroad Winds. Maybe I judged it more useful then than I do now. I mean, yeah, I'm probably going to get... I'm guessing the garment grids I'm using now won't be the ones that I am using at the end. There will probably be ones that give much stronger abilities.
Yeah.
Like, there are some garment grids that, for example, will let you... give you access to an entire set of abilities from another Dressphere. As long as you have learned those abilities. Like, if you have one that gives you access to all of your swordplay abilities, Yuna would be able to make much better use of it than the others would, because she knows all of those abilities.
That sounds like a very useful Dressphere.
A garment grid. Yeah, anyway. So I'm choosing Pain to learn the Alchemist Dressphere abilities. This is not one of those where there's some particular in-game reason why I'm choosing a specific character. It's just that that's how things work out in my plan. But it works the same for every character. It's not one of those where there's a special benefit to letting one character do it. So at this point I was probably checking the skill tree, you know, see what leads to what. I was torn between doing Potion first and doing Remedy first, because Remedy is the one that leads to the skill I wanted. It leads to the skill I want, but Potion costs half the amount of AP, and once you have that ability, it's much easier to earn AP during battle without using up your items very quickly.
So you went for Remedy first.
Yeah, I think I actually switched it in the middle and decided to go for Potion first, which was kind of dumb because by that time I had 9 points toward Remedy. So I would have needed only 11 more, as opposed to the 10 for Potion. So I saved only 1. Oops. Alright, so these stalls that used to have fiends in them, if you catch enough chocobos, there can be chocobos in them instead, eventually.
You would be catching all of the chocobos?
Well, there isn't really in all of the chocobos. There's no limit to the number you can catch. There's only a limit to the number you can have here at once.
Will you be spinning up on this basis or just catch?
Probably I will because of the way the leveling up works. As part of this quest, for story completion points, you have to level up at least one to the maximum level. But when you catch one, you won't be able to tell immediately what its maximum level is, unless its maximum level is level 1, in which case you'll be able to tell that immediately. But you can't, it won't say what the chocobo's maximum level is. You have to level it up to that level before you know that you can't level it up anymore.
Okay.
So their job is to find items, and I forget the exact requirements, but at some point during the game you have to use them a certain amount. You have to level up one to the max level. And yeah, you have to do a certain amount of stuff. I think most of this stuff can be done as late as you want in the game, as long as it's done by the end. You do have to capture at least one chocobo by the end of Chapter 3. I take care of that almost right away. Yeah, I'll note, there are a few things in this chapter that you have to do for story completion, but that you can do later. I'm going to be doing everything as early as possible, unless it's something that takes a very, very large time investment and would take a much smaller time investment if I did it later.
Sounds logical. Do it later.
Yeah, you have to catch a chocobo before the end of Chapter 3.
Might as well catch one as soon as possible.
Yeah, by the way, I said at one point that once you're at 34%, the next sort of point where you can know that you're on pace for 100% is 47. That was wrong. There's also one at 37.